For reaction to what we have just witnessed, we want to bring in retired Lieutenant General Thomas McInerney. And General, thank you for joining us, and a Merry Christmas to you. You heard, I believe, the Prime Minister from Japan. You also heard the President. Your immediate thoughts, and then I have some follow-up questions.
Well, Adam, I was very impressed with both of them, particularly Prime Minister Abe's comments about the reconciliation. I thought he did an extremely good job, as well as President Obama. We must look forward, not backward. They were covering that coverage as well. But we are two important allies in the Pacific region that need to come together, and having been the commander on Okinawa as an Air Division commander when I was in active duty, I was very impressed with what they said.
I want to get this question out of the way, because I know there are people who think that it's wrong that the Japanese Prime Minister, even though it is 70-plus years since the attack in 1941, that the Japanese Prime Minister did not apologize on behalf of his country. Is that necessary, or as you say, looking forward at the relationship that the two countries have forged is so strong that it's not necessary?
Well, I think he did in a way, the way he expressed his sincere condolences in that. I don't think you have to put that word apologize in necessarily, because, as I said, the important relationship that we have had over those years, which I personally was involved with, are far more significant now than dwelling on the past. We have some very severe situations out there developing with China and North Korea, and we need Japan as a strong ally.
That's what I want to ask you about. But first, there was a human aspect to what we just witnessed over the last 30 minutes. And what moved me was the story about American servicemen burying a Japanese fighter pilot who had attacked them. I mean, your thoughts when you heard that part of the comments from the Prime Minister and the President?
Well, I was a little bit surprised, I must tell you that, Adam, because in the heat of war, that very seldom happens. And so I was surprised to hear about that, and I was very impressed.
About the threats that Japan and the United States, and for that matter, the world face from China and North Korea. Specifically, what's happened with China just within the last couple of days, their first aircraft carrier now in the South China Sea. They have disputes over territory with Taiwan as well as with Japan. Where is this heading?
Well, it's not heading in the right direction, and we must attribute that to President Obama and his administration's actions and leading from behind. It is one of the great challenges that President Trump is going to have to face, and how you turn this around. When I was a commander down in the Philippines at Clark Air Base, Scarborough Shoals was part of my air defense identification zone. That now is occupied by the Chinese and has become a fixed aircraft carrier. They now dominate the South China Sea, and that never should have happened.
And they lay claim to the entire body of water of the South China Sea, which is in violation of international law. Do you think the Chinese would try to test President-elect Trump and our alliance with Japan in the first few weeks of his administration?
Well, if not in the first few weeks, he will be tested. He will be tested by a whole host of people, which concern me. And I think that his efforts to rebuild our military, to rebuild our economy, and to make us the world leader again is going to be extremely important. Will 8 years be enough for him? And I think you're going to see America will be tested in the months in front of us. And how we respond and what we do to meet that test is going to be extremely important.
Do you think that, my generation and people younger than I am have forgotten just not only the sacrifice that American men and women made in the 1940s to keep not only our country but to free other countries, but then turning around and not only rebuilding Europe and Germany, but rebuilding Japan into an economic power that in some ways tries to rival the United States? Nobody in the history of the world has ever done that, and we did.
We did, and we should get credit for it. But look, my son is married to a Japanese girl that gave birth today at 10 minutes at the hour 10:11 today, Pacific Standard Time, and that shows you that the younger generation have already made the reconciliation. I was alive when Pearl Harbor started. I remember it as a boy, and I remember my father was gone for 3 years during World War II that I hardly ever saw him. And so, yet I was a commander in Okinawa, I was a commander in the Philippines, and I saw that change come about due to the leadership that America provided. And that's why those countries, Germany, Japan, Italy, why those countries are playing such an important role in the world today. It's because of U.S. leadership, not leading from behind, but leading from up front.
And how appropriate, what you've just described, I believe, U.S. leadership can be summed up in one word, hope. And I believe the birth of your grandchild is a cause for hope. And congratulations. I think that's something we should say to you on this day. That's really terrific news, sir.
Thanks, Adam.
General McInerney, I've got to let you go right now, but thank you, and once again, congratulations. A Merry Christmas and a healthy, Happy New Year with your new grandchild.
Thank you very much.